Hello and welcome. This is Slow and Clear English, the podcast for English learners. Here, we speak slowly, clearly, and with simple words. You can listen, understand, and learn English in a fun and easy way. If you are learning English, you are in the right place. Now, let's learn English together, step by step. Are you ready? Let's go.
Today, I want to talk about travel. What do you think about travel? Do you like to travel? I love to travel. It is one of my favorite things to do. When I was a child, my family and I traveled a lot. We went to a place called Hawaii many times. Do you know where Hawaii is? Hawaii is an island in the Pacific Ocean. It is also a state in the United States. Hawaii has very beautiful beaches and a slow, calm lifestyle. The people are friendly. The weather is warm and sunny. I have been to Hawaii about 6 or 7 times. It is one of my favorite places in the world. However, I prefer mountains and forests more than beaches. I also really like the countryside. I love to go camping and on road trips. A road trip is when you travel by car for a long time. You drive to different places and see many things. I have taken many road trips in the United States. I recently took a road trip in the Tuscany region of Italy. It was one of the most incredible experiences I have ever had. The food was so good. The scenery was beautiful. The small towns were so charming. If you ever go to Italy, I highly recommend that you rent a car and drive through Tuscany. You will not be disappointed. It is an amazing place to travel. Speaking of Europe, I also went on a backpacking trip a few years ago. A backpacking trip is when you travel with a large backpack. You carry all of your things on your back. It is a little different from a road trip or other types of travel. This trip was in Portugal and Spain. It was my first time backpacking. It was not easy. We spent a lot of time walking. We took buses and trains. We carried our heavy backpacks everywhere. On this trip, we stayed in hostels. Hostels are places where you can rent a bed for a low price. You often share a room with other travelers. Many hostels are good, but some are not. We stayed in some low-quality hostels and had some bad experiences. The worst thing was when I was in Madrid. I was bitten by bedbugs. Have you ever been bitten by bedbugs? It is not a fun experience. My skin is very sensitive, so it was even worse for me. I had big, red sores all over my arms. So, if you plan to stay in hostels, you should read the online reviews first. Sometimes it is better to pay a little more money to stay in a better place. Some people only like to stay in hotels. Hotels are more expensive but also more comfortable. Other people like to stay in Airbnbs. An Airbnb is a house or apartment you can rent from a person. I have been staying at Airbnbs a lot lately. They are definitely better than hostels, in my opinion. Another important part of traveling is the flight. The flight is the trip on an airplane. This is probably the worst part of traveling for me. I have been lucky because I have not had any terrible flights. But I have had experiences with long delays and canceled flights. A delay is when a flight leaves later than planned. A canceled flight is a flight that does not happen at all. These experiences can really ruin your trip. There were 2 times when I had to spend the night at the airport. It was a terrible experience. I hope you never have to do that. One of the most interesting things about travel is meeting new people. When you travel, you have the chance to talk to people from other countries. You can learn about their culture and their lives. I love to hear their stories. People are very interesting. Do you like meeting new people? I also love to try new food. Every country has its own special dishes. In Italy, I ate a lot of pasta and pizza. In Spain, I ate paella. Food is an important part of travel. Do you like to try new foods when you travel? Travel can also be very helpful. You learn a lot about yourself. You learn how to solve problems when things go wrong. You become more independent. I think travel helps us to see the world in a bigger way. It helps us understand that there are many different ways to live. It is a wonderful experience. So, there are good and bad things about travel. There are beautiful places to see. There are fun activities to do. But sometimes there are problems like canceled flights or bad hostels. but I think we can all agree that it is nice to travel once in a while. Now, let's learn some new words from the video. You will hear these words often when you talk about travel. Travel, to go on a trip or journey to a different place. Example, I love to travel to new countries. Beach, an area of sand or small stones next to an ocean, sea, or lake. Example, we built a sandcastle on the beach. Camping, when you stay outside in a tent for a short time, usually for fun. Example, my family goes camping every summer. Road trip, a long trip by car, usually for fun. Example, we took a road trip across the country to see many cities. Backpacking, a type of travel where you carry all your belongings in a large bag on your back. Example, I went backpacking through Europe for a month. Hostel, a cheap hotel where you can rent a bed, often in a room with other people. Example, we stayed in a cheap hostel during our trip to Madrid. Airbnb, a service that lets you rent a room, apartment, or house from a person. Example, we stayed in a beautiful Airbnb in the mountains. Flight, a trip on an airplane. Example, our flight to Italy was 8 hours long. Delay, when a flight, bus, or train is late. Example, there was a 1-hour delay for our flight. Cancelled, when a trip or plan is stopped and will not happen. Example, our flight was cancelled because of bad weather. And that's all for today. We talked about some good and bad things about traveling. We learned about different places to stay, like hostels and Airbnbs, and we also learned about flight delays. Now it's your turn. What is your favorite place to travel to? Please tell me in the comments below. I read every comment. Thank you for watching this video on Slow and Clear English. Keep practicing and enjoy your English learning journey. I'll see you in the next video.